Hello everybody, this is lesson 9 of working with JavaScript, and in this lesson we'll be learning about the switch statement. So once again we link to our external JavaScript and we have our div tag where we can do some output in our external JavaScript file. I'm just using the anonymous function once again. So let's create a variable and we start our switch statement. So your switch statement is similar to an if-else statement or else-if statement. It examines the variable in brackets, in this case the name variable, and we give it certain cases. So we could say case Mary colon, and then we do a whole bunch of instructions. So we could say block.innerHTML, your name is Mary. Break. Then you would do the next case. George. Break. And so on and so forth. You keep adding cases for as many cases as you need. And then there's a default option which is optional. This is very similar to the else statement of an if-else statement. It handles any of the previous cases that weren't handled before. There's no break statement for the default statement. Okay, so the break statement basically means exit. Don't go and look at the other options if you've already found the correct option. So break simply goes to the end of the curly bracket and continues with the rest of the code if there's anything after that. The break statement is important because if you leave out the break statement, it will execute the option below that as well. So in this case it's saying I don't know who you are, because Joe doesn't fall into the first case, doesn't fall into the second case, so therefore the default catches that option. But if I had to say Mary, and then it would say your name is Mary. This is an interesting statement, but not as powerful as the else-if statement we did previously. The problem with the switch statement is we can't really do comparisons. So previously we checked for a teenager, an adult, a child, that sort of thing. We could check for a number. So for example we could say, is the number 1? And then we could say your number is 1. Or we could say, is the number 2? Your number is a 2. I don't know your number. Okay, notice when you check a number, you don't use the quotation marks. That's for a string. Okay, so if I set that to a 2, I would get, should be your number is 2. Okay, but there's no way I can say case. I can't do a comparison. I can't say is it between the range of 2 and 10, or I can only look for an exact number. So that is the disadvantage of using a switch. I would prefer using the if-else-if statement rather than the switch statement. But it's good to be aware of how it works, so that if you come across it, you know what it's doing. And so ends our lesson in working with the switch statement.